Hello everyone, and welcome again to another edition of Submerge Me PC. I know a few of you out there may be wondering what kind of temps I'm seeing on the GPU side of things on this Submerge Me PC setup. So this video is here to answer all those questions. Before we get started though, I want to go ahead and put this disclaimer out here. This is not an overclocking video tutorial. Anything you see in this video is for my own personal use. I do not recommend that you copy any of the settings that you may see in here on your hardware, as it may damage it and you will lose your vital hardware. So please, if you use any settings you see in this video, you do so at your own free will. I will not be held responsible. Now that that's out of the way, I'll go ahead and get into the juicy details of what we're here for today. Now, for the sake of disclosure, and you can keep in mind throughout this video, the ambient temperatures that the system is seeing is currently 71 to 72 degrees inside the environment the system is being housed. Now, thankfully, I have my temperature probes inserted into the liquid that you may have seen in one of my previous videos. Excuse me. But they actually allow me to see that currently the temperature is about 21 degrees or so in the fluid coming out of the pump, and roughly about 24 degrees or so sitting around the CPU. Now, I have those temperature probes set up similar to the way they were in the previous video I mentioned. So if you see this video, you would basically get an idea of where they're sitting. Now over here, you'll see that I've went ahead and pulled up a few pieces of software just to kind of help us out today, kind of my normal routine. Got our core temp, our task manager, and this time around I pulled up the Asus GPU Tweak 2 software to kind of show you the verification of the overclock on the card and any information that you may be wondering. I'm not going to get into too much. Like I said, this is not an overclocking video tutorial. That was just for verification purposes alone and to get the monitoring system out of this software suite for us. Now, all I've basically done so far is just turned on the system and just let it sit. I haven't done nothing. So for disclosure purposes, the actual radiator, pump system, all that good stuff hasn't actually had any kind of true temps to kind of fight to bring it back down. So this is basically just turning it on for the first time in the day, letting it come down, sit, idle, and see basically what kind of temps you got. Now once we do this first run, of course, we will of course see lower temperatures due to the fact that it's going to be the very first run of the day. This isn't kind of a video tutorial or anything like that as far as how the average temperatures. This is just going to be like turn on the system, get it going, let it get through all of its boot processes, sit there for a minute, see what kind of temps are there, and then just fire off a run and see basically from start to finish how high it would go from the initial startup. So it's basically been running for about 22 minutes or so, about 21 minutes. So that gives you an idea of basically how long it's been sitting here. And like I said, it's the first time it's been turned on this morning. And again, it's being used to do the screen capture. So therefore, our idle temps are going to be a little bit higher now than they were. But you can actually see they're still kind of relatively pretty low, considering that the system actually is still really in use. Now I'm going to be keeping an eye on the temperature probes to kind of see where we're sitting on that throughout everything, and if I see anything change, I'll kind of give you an update as that goes along. But as of right now, like I said, they're holding 21 degrees around the pump, about 24 degrees in the CPU. You can notice here in the monitoring software, the Asus, that our GPU is sitting around 30 degrees. It was hovering around 28, 29 there for a while. And of course, now that I've actually started using the system a little bit, you can see how it's plateaued on about 30 degrees. Over here in our core temp, it's relatively chilly, honestly. The maximum temperature we saw was 65 degrees upon boot. It got down to about 27 degrees once it was idling and just sitting there. And as of right now, it's still kind of hovering around 31, 30 degrees or so on the lowest core, about 35 or so, 34, 30, that's 36. So about 36 or so on the cores is relatively the highest active temperature we're seeing right now. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up one of our benchmarking softwares. This time around, I think I'm going to go ahead and use the Heaven Benchmark, since that's kind of a somewhat popular software. It's a little bit dated, but still, it really does truly push the system to its max. Still, if you can see here, it's just a custom preset. We're using a DirectX 11. Quality is ultra. Tessellation is extreme. 8x aliasing, and just running full screen and full HD 1920x1080. So what I'm going to do is I'll just kick it off. Once it gets in there, I'll start a benchmark, and then I will see you on this other side. Enjoy. now that that's over with, we can jump back into things, kind of see what these temperatures were throughout the whole run. I don't want to focus too much on the scores. These really don't truly reflect the true scores for the system, seeing since I'm doing screen captures while I'm doing the benchmark. Figured out at some point, once I get everything compiled and done and finished and wrapped up on the system as far as testing goes and everything like that, I'm going to go ahead and make a video to kind of, sum up all the temperatures, have all the different benchmark scores and all that good stuff, hopefully in one quick small video, just to maybe just screen captures or some of screenshots, stuff like that. I'm not quite for sure how it's going to go, but definitely stick around for that. It's definitely going to be coming out. So we're going to go ahead and jump out of here, and we're going to come back into the desktop mode and look at some of these temps. Now, I didn't reset the core temp high lows. I didn't know if he was paying attention during all of that, but it never really did get I didn't see it get over like 35 degrees or so. I should have reset those during that, but as you see here in the core temp, our numbers didn't change at all from when we start to finish. So they were definitely, they never reached over 65 degrees on the CPU, which of course that was more of a GPU intensive benchmark. So that's more where we're going to go over here and look. If you notice, our boost clock for the run actually got up to 2115. Our temperature never reached over 53 degrees on our GPU. Looking at the stats for the card, you see that I actually have it overclocked to 1975 on the base clock, 100 on the GPU voltage, and they got it overclocked to 15952 on the memory, which is basically plus 175 on the boost clock and plus 3950 on the memory clock. Like I said, I'm not going to go into too much about all that stuff. So basically, that was it. Let me know what you think. Make sure you like and subscribe. Any questions or anything like that, just hit me up below. Thanks, guys. See you around.